If you are feeling overwhelmed starting a YouTube automation business, this video is for you. Because you're probably doing everything, watching educational videos, looking for niches, starting channels, writing scripts, and testing videos, but nothing is working and you're feeling overwhelmed to do this while you're also working a job. Well, just know, first of all, you are not alone in this. And my client Stephanie felt the same way when she started her online side hustle. She was also trying everything, watching different YouTube videos from creators, trying different niches, starting different channels, but she just couldn't figure out what worked for her and why it would work and how to approach this. She had no growth, no clarity, and only the frustration growing bigger and bigger. And that is the exact reason why a lot of people quit before they find something that works. But once we fixed this one thing for Stephanie, it clicked for her. And in her first month of being monetized, she made over $7,000 from YouTube. So if you are feeling overwhelmed like Stephanie used to do, this video might be for you. And I'm going to show you the 3 problems and the 3 fixes to get over that feeling and start a profitable YouTube automation business. But before we get into that, I would like to invite you to my free 5-day YouTube automation challenge. It's a free community you can join by clicking the link in the description to my Faceless Tuber School community. And here you can take my 5-day challenge on how to start your first profitable YouTube automation business. You get access to my community and other like-minded people doing YouTube automation. And you can ask me personal questions to get feedback on what is working or not working, a good idea or not such a good idea. There's no strings attached. You can get to the coaching program if you want, but again, this is completely free and there's no upsells. So first, let's go over the main problems that caused this confusion and overwhelm for Stephanie. First of all, she had too many ideas and too much information she was getting from the internet. Because she had so many different sources of input and information, there were too many strategies that she was looking to try and test, which overwhelmed her even more. And because she had so many different strategies, she had no focus on one single thing or testing strategy for her YouTube automation business, which made it very hard to decide what works, what doesn't work, what niches to get into, how to start channels, and basically how to go about launching, testing, and scaling or cutting channels. And when I had the first conversation with Stephanie, she basically was at a point where she barely tested any channel or any niche or any videos because she kept getting stuck in this phase or state of watching YouTube videos, getting a new strategy in, trying to implement that strategy, trying to find a niche, but then before even launching your channel and launching videos, watching another video from someone else and trying to implement a new strategy and do it completely differently. So she was stuck in this sort of like analysis paralysis state where she thought there was like a new way of doing things every single week from someone else. And because of this, she never got to actually testing her first channel. So when I had my first call with Stephanie and she explained her situation, it directly was very clear to me what the actual problem here is. And that is that she was trying to learn everything from everyone online and not just follow one proven path from someone. So she felt overwhelmed because there was so many different people preaching different ways to do things and test things and analyze things that she didn't even know where to start. So the first thing when we got started with her was implement the 5M system that I work by and I preach, which goes over the mindset and then the fundamental information and then the niche and then how to make the videos and hire the team. If you follow these steps, it becomes a lot more clear what to do and when to do it, and also how to find your niche and basically how to proceed testing that niche and format, knowing when to quit, knowing when to start, and knowing how many videos to upload before moving on, cutting it off, or scaling it up. So the reason why people often feel overwhelmed is because it is unclear to them which system and strategy they are using. And because they do not have one system and strategy in mind, they do not know exactly which steps to take and when to follow this. There is a lot of information online nowadays. There's a lot of people who teach YouTube automation. There's a lot of people who teach online business, side hustles, all this kind of stuff. And maybe everyone has their own way of doing things. But one thing is for sure, a lot of these people know what they are doing. But if you are going to listen to all of them and try everything, it's probably not going to work for you, because you probably have to just take one of these vehicles or paths that they do and follow that until it works. A lot of these systems, again, do work. I cannot speak for everyone. Please do your own research on who you are following and make sure he or she is legit and knows what she is doing and did it themselves and did it with clients. So you know it's going to work for other people and also for you probably. But yeah, if you keep learning from new people and different people, you sort of reset your learning curve every single time. And even with YouTube automation, even though this is one side hustle, I, for example, do long form YouTube automation videos, faceless videos that are very often based on like vintage related stuff. But someone else might teach YouTube automation short form reels or maybe kids content. And these markets within YouTube automation are way different, and there's different ways to test them, to launch them, to scale them. So if you listen to, let's say, me and someone that teaches you how to make kids content, of course the strategy is going to be way different, and this might confuse you on what to research and how to test it. So this is why it might be confusing to you why you are stuck with YouTube automation, or why it's confusing that you're not getting anything off the ground. So apart from picking one person to learn from in doing something, another thing I would advise you, and that I advised Stephanie to do when it comes to YouTube automation, is to look for one specific niche that she has interests in and only test and look for channels within that like overarching niche, but look for different formats and sub niches within this market to test. This makes it a lot easier to find, to like pinpoint a little bit more like one specific niche, one specific viewer avatar, what their problems are, what they're looking for, what they like to watch, how these videos look in terms of the videos, the thumbnails, the titles, and the editing and the scripts. And this way you can just find more ideas faster and have one specific testing strategy to proceed testing these channels with. When you approach it this way, it will also be easier for you to come up with thumbnail ideas, title styles, with script writing frameworks, and with video editing styles for that niche. Again, like I just mentioned, like let's say if you have a vintage channel about like vintage Hollywood, for example, and you have a kids entertainment channels, these scripts and videos and thumbnails are going to be way different, and it's almost like you're working in a different business model. So try to pinpoint that one niche that you are interested in and know something about, and look for subformats within that niche. Now, the second thing is that she did not have one system to test channels and launch channels with. So everyone knows that like niche research is the bread and butter of YouTube automation. That's the most important thing. But if you see niches and you find them, but you do not know how to pick one format from a niche and make a testing strategy around that, you will still get stuck. And this is why I highly advise you to make one specific strategy in how you find a niche, pick a format, and then the first 10 to 15 videos you're going to be testing for that niche, and systemize this process, not just the research part, but also how you're going to write the scripts, also how you're going to make the thumbnails, also how you're going to find the titles, and then also how you're going to like, are you going to edit it yourself, or you're going to hire someone to edit it for you? You want this process completely systemized and the same way every single time, so that you just decide for yourself, let's say every 1 month I test 2 or 3 channels in this niche with these different formats, but the scripts are going to be like this, the thumbnails are going to be like this. And this way you can just produce way more, way quicker, without the friction of having to sort of like research and start over with different niches, different scripts, different thumbnails all the time. You want to become a master of your overarching niche and test formats in that niche until you find something that works for you. So my client Stephanie that we implemented this with, she was working a full-time 9-to-5 job. She had a partner. She even had a little kid that she had to take care of. So she was just overwhelmed with all these options out there, how to start, and also how to combine it with her working 9-to-5 life. So I explained to her this like niche research framework we apply, and then explained to her the testing strategies that we apply. And then I also helped her look at her personal interests, what she likes to talk about, think about, look for, like research, entertain herself with. And then we looked for specific niches around this interest. She found her channel, and within her first month with this channel, she got monetized. She started a completely fresh channel and not one that she was already doing, because these were too broad and generic. So she started a new channel, got monetized in 1 month, and her first month, I think she did $3,000 or $4,000 from YouTube AdSense revenue. She still worked her job, took care of her child, has a man to take care of too. So this is all possible if you implement the right structure and understand how to approach the testing strategy. And yeah, just put a solid system in place and are not in this analysis paralysis state where you keep watching educational YouTube videos and everyone is kind of saying the same thing, but it's just a little bit different. The only way you're going to see results if you start actually testing niches, formats, videos, and know when to cut and know when to scale these channels. Now, if you want to dive deeper in Stephanie's story, how she was stuck, how we got started working with her, and the results and the transformation she went through, you can click under the video in the description of this video. I have a 30-40 minute client case study with her. So what we did with her, how she was stuck, what we and how we helped her implement everything. So if you want to like watch the in-depth interview on this, you can click the video in the description now. Besides that, if you want more feedback on getting started with YouTube automation, I highly recommend you to join the free challenge community, the Faceless YouTuber School that I set up. Again, it's completely free to join. It's a 5+ hour free 5-day challenge you can take, and after that you can decide if you want to work with me closer one-on-one or be in the community. So click the link in the description to join that free challenge, no strings attached. Now, I hope this gives you some insight on how to feel less overwhelmed starting your YouTube automation business. Please start applying this. Stop listening to everyone out there. Pick one vehicle or like one system that you're going to be following, and then just follow that and test multiple channels and niches until you find something that works for you. Most important thing here is just testing a lot and not getting emotionally stuck to one thing or to that research phase. Only thing you are gonna know if something works is by testing it, so just keep that in mind. If you like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do weekly free videos on YouTube automation and case studies like this. So again, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Now, before you go, if this is all clear, but you're still stuck in that like niche research phase, I recorded a video here that goes over some niche research tools that you can use that I recommend and don't recommend on how to use to find that first viral niche. So click this if you want to find your first niche.